Residents up and down the Gulf Coast, especially right along New Orleans, brace for Hurricane Barry, which has just made landfall. And this is heavy rain, slow-moving storm is going to continue through the region for several days. So joining us now from FEMA's headquarters right here in D.C. is FEMA Associate Administrator for the Office of Response and Recovery, Jeff Byard. Jeff, where are you seeing the biggest need right now?
So that's a great question. I always want to thank the media for what you're doing. You know, the biggest need that we see is to continue to get the preparedness message out and really the seriousness of this storm. You know, this is a very slow-moving storm that's going to dump a lot of rain and continue to dump a lot of rain on areas that have been experiencing flooding for several months now. So, you know, the biggest need that we see, and you're a part of that team, is to continue to get the message out that, you know, don't try to drive through water. Even though there may be breaks in the weather, there's rain bands coming in behind this storm. It's going to be a couple days before we get to a situation where the weather's passed, specifically in Louisiana. We'll have continued threats even north of Louisiana. But, you know, our need right now is exactly what the locals' need is and the state's need is to make sure that we're getting the preparedness message out and really the warnings.
And how worried are you that, you know, people hear, Cat 1, not too big a deal. How worried are you that folks in the region aren't taking the storm as seriously as they should? You know,
FEMA's always worried. We worry about a number of things, but you know, when you start looking at a category of storm, as you well know, that's measured by the wind speed. Really, the deadly parts of a storm are always the water, whether that be the surge coming from the Gulf in this case, or the rain that's coming from above. So, you know, we would say don't necessarily pay attention to the wind speed on this one. It is the rain. It is that really flash flooding that can hit you soon, and then the follow-on river flooding that we're going to be monitoring.
Jeff, we've already heard from the governor of Louisiana that there obviously are vast power outages. Those are going to only grow. We know that. You also said the U.S. Coast Guard's already made 11 rescues. How does things change for you all when you're trying to stage now for the inland flooding? Talk to us about the resources that are north ready to move south now that Barry has made landfall.
Right. That's, you know, we do that prior to the storm. We've been moving resources into Louisiana, you know, middle of this week. We've been in conversations with Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas.
What are they telling you they need? What have you moved?
So we've moved urban search and rescue assets, resources, swiftwater resources that are currently in the state ready to go. We've got commodities, should that become a need, in water, MREs, generators to backfill or support the state's needs. We've got disaster medical assistant teams with our partners at Health and Human Services that are ready to go should we need that. We've got ambulances that we've brought to bear that can support any medical evacuation should that be needed. So we feel like we're in a very good position to support a very proactive state. The governor and his team's done an outstanding job. As you know, Jeff, over 3,000 guardsmen. We feel like we're in a good spot.
Jeff, one more quick question. FEMA took a lot of hits after Hurricane Katrina. What lessons have you all learned from Katrina that you're putting into place today?
You know, we learn a lot of lessons in every storm. One of the major lessons that we've learned is just what we talked about, ma'am, the ability to move resources well prior to a storm. And we've done that. We're ready to go. The president authorized an emergency declaration a couple days ago that gives us the authority we need to support the state.